culture. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. All will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness of men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture. sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness of men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not.
America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered. We got a great show for you guys today. Glad to be back here with you guys on Friday. It is our casual Friday show. We got a little bit to talk about today. We had some things happen in the news, and we had actually some breaking discoveries. Not breaking over here. We already knew it. We've been saying it for a very long time because there has been research done on this in the past. But new information, new studies are now coming out proving things we've been saying correct because we've been quoting the studies. But new information coming out showing that we are right about the low IQ Africans. We are right about the low IQ sub-Saharans, and we are going to talk about that today. You know, it's sad a little bit, but it's also very vindicating. It's sad because you do want to think of like everybody being able to accomplish the same things and do similar. You know, everybody talks about like equality, and if you're a Christian like myself, you want everyone to be able to experience the same things, accomplish different things, or accomplish similar things. But when you realize that there is this IQ difference, it is a little sad when you realize that they're most likely not going to overcome it, or at least in the next 20 generations. Probably not even that if something doesn't get drastically changed scientifically. But we're going to address that today. We're going to go over the actual study itself. There's also a few other things. There's a couple people who were on the establishment MAGA right who are now kind of shifting a little bit more over to the America First side. I want to review some of the things they've said. I also want to talk a little bit about Donald Trump and deportations. We know Donald Trump campaigned on the idea of mass deportations. He campaigned on the idea of we're going to get all these legal immigrants out of our country. And he went as far as to say is we are going to get every single one of them out of our country. He talked about over 10 million deportations. And now Donald Trump, less than 300 and maybe less than 400,000 deportations in total, is pretty much giving up on the cause entirely. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, we've talked about this before, but Donald Trump will go out there and say, guys, this Iran war, even if it loses us poll number, even if we go down in the polls, we are still going to do it. We need to do it. We're losing support in the polls because of mass deportations. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it completely. It's like, what the fuck? We didn't vote for war in Iran. We voted for mass deportations, you stupid cunt. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? It's actually insane. It is like the classic boomer. They always think they're right. They have these massive egos. They think everyone younger than them is retarded and doesn't understand it, and they think they can fool everyone younger than them. Like, Trump still thinks he can fool everybody younger than him, and he does that because he's an egotistical boomer cunt. But Trump campaigned on no new wars. He campaigned on mass deportations. What are we getting? No mass deportations, and we're getting new wars. Not only are we getting new wars, it's like Donald Trump still hasn't even stopped the wars that were going on. He said Russia-Ukraine would be done on day one. Yeah, how's that going, fuckhead? How's that going? Seriously, how's that going? He said that Israel-Gaza would be over day one. That took, what was it, 10 months, 11 months? It's just fucking embarrassing. This guy claims to be the excellent negotiator, the greatest negotiator to ever live. Couldn't even negotiate a trade deal with China without taking 600,000 Chinese spies. So I'm a little sick and tired of hearing about Donald Trump's great negotiating abilities and hearing all these MAGA talking points. We got Christian joined the chat. Christian goes, I can't believe she thought I was like that. Yesterday was a bit of an embarrassing show. One thing, yesterday's show was funny. Second of all, what? Like, what do you even fucking, Christian? Like, this is why I say you're weird. Like, that's just stupidly vague for no reason. What are you even fucking talking about? Someone said EHC equals the man. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. EHC is the man. Someone said, can we have a sec to appreciate the drip? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this. We got the gray quarter zip. We know the YNs are sporting the quarter zips now. Maybe, should I pop the collar on this motherfucker? Should I keep it folded like a head, or should I pop that? I kind of like it popped. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that pop collar look. But yeah, I got this at like a farmer's market a few years ago. Love this. But it's our casual Friday. No suit today. No suit and tie. No tie clip. We're in our casual gear. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. That's how casual we're getting on casual Friday. Very exciting day, you know. Actually, to be honest, it's not. Like, there's been really not a lot of news. There's been a couple things. Like, the Black IQ thing is actually from yesterday. I didn't talk about it yesterday because we had Sassy on the show. Oh, Christian's like, she thought I'm gay. She thought maybe, or Christian, I think we've all had that thought at one point that you might be. You know, she doesn't know you. Like, what do you fucking care also what some dumb liberal bitch thinks about? What do you care if she thinks you're gay? Who cares? It's a stupid liberal girl that you'll fucking realistically never have to talk to. Like, shut up. Who fucking cares? So fucking annoying. And I don't know what was going on with the show yesterday because my YouTube and Rumble chat just completely, like, stopped working. Like, it was working. It was on Rumble and on YouTube. You could see it. But then on my dashboard where it, like, kind of mixes all the chats into one, it just stopped. It wasn't working. So I don't know what the fuck was good. That went out at some point during the show yesterday, and I didn't realize it till later in the show. But that was weird. But yeah, like I said, we got a lot of different things to talk about. It's going to be a little bit of a fuck Trump, fuck the Israel lobby type show. Going to be joking around a bit, just having a casual show. Not going to be anything long or crazy either. It's Friday, slow news day, not a lot going on besides the lack of deportations, besides, like I said, the Africa IQ subject. And it's like, it's just crazy to me that people even still debate it. Like, we've had the knowledge for a very long time that Black people in America have an average IQ of about 85. Black people in Africa have an average IQ of about like 60 something, 70. And it's kind of funny because like years ago in America, the rate for, or what would the right word be? The number for which someone would be classified as a retard was like, I want to say it was an 80 IQ. It was either 85 or 80 IQ. And then they were like, oh wow, too many blacks fit into this. We need to lower it so that way, we're not just saying all these blacks are retards, so we don't seem racist. And then they lower it to 70. Then now we're finding out that all the blacks in Africa still fit under that. It's crazy. It's so funny. All the really dumb people in America are still smarter than the smartest people in Africa. I remember when Candace and Nick had this argument. I feel like that's a little bit where the whole thing fell off with them. They had their podcast and it was a little contentious. There was a lot of things that Candace was trying to throw at Nick, disagreeing with him. She was doing the whole clip routine. But then she really got upset was when he was calling sub-Saharans retards. Was when he was saying that there is IQ differences among races, that it is genetic, and Candace just doesn't want to accept these facts, but these are facts. IQ is genetic. Your IQ at 10 and your IQ when you're 30 is going to be pretty much the same. It's not going to change. No amount of education is going to raise your IQ a significant amount. Or, even more than a couple points. And the fact that people refuse to accept that only serves to hurt black people. When we throw black people into this society and we expect them to accomplish everything else that the white man and other people are accomplishing, and we look at them in that same way, it doesn't help them. If we were to just truly acknowledge that there is a genetic IQ difference between black and white, even though it's something that is all a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of people, but if we were able to actually acknowledge that, implement strategies and plans that could actually help black people, it would be 10 times better for society, and you'd probably see a way lower crime rate. It just, I don't know. The entire thing, like I said, very vindicating because I've been saying this for a very long time. I've gotten countless arguments with people, not just people on the show, people I'm very close with in life about this subject. They always say, there's no actual differences. And I'm like, yeah, there is. They have different brains. They have different muscles. They have different bones. They have different, literally, tendons. Everything is fucking different. A lot of things are different, at least. And they never want to acknowledge that there is a difference in IQ as well. But I think it's been clear for a very long time that there has been a difference in IQ. The ability to learn, the lack of thinking when it comes to should I commit this crime or not. The just general mentality you see in the black community. You see when you're around, nobody, here's a good way to judge it. Nobody's ever in a situation and been like, I wish there was a ton of more black people around me. You're never in a situation where you're like, you know what? I wish there was a lot of black people. I wish I had less white people and a lot more black people around me. Nobody's ever really saying that. And why aren't they saying that? Because one, you don't want to have dumber conversations. You don't want everything to be about pussy, weed, and gang violence. And two, you just don't want the threat of being mugged or killed or raped. Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, to the people who don't get it, yeah, I think they're just ignoring the facts, not that they actually, like, the people who refuse to accept it are truly just ignoring the facts. They are the people where it's like, when you say facts don't care about feelings, their feelings trump their facts to them. Like, they don't give a shit. Those people, they have no real honesty. If they were actually honest, they would just look at the data. There have been countless studies. Like, this was fun. I remember I was arguing with somebody who went to University of Delaware about this. I'm not gonna like disclose anything about the person besides that, but they went to University of Delaware and they were arguing back and forth with me about this. And there's somebody who even admits that, like, black culture does have a tremendous amount of issues. But they think it's strictly a culture problem, not an IQ problem or anything else. Just strictly actually, let me re-clarify. They think it's a culture problem and a white man problem. They think the white man held the black man down so long that that's why the black man is like this. And I asked him, I said, after how many years does it stop being the white man's fault? That really set him off. He didn't want to answer that. I said, in the year 2126, in 100 years, is it still going to be the white man's fault if the black man's, acting like shit? They refuse to answer. They're like, what about redlining? I'm like, dude, you're Irish. You couldn't even your family couldn't get a job when they came to this fucking country. Irish need not apply. Signs were everywhere. But he's like, what about redlining? It's like, okay, white knight, okay. But we're debating, we're going back and forth about it for a very long time. And then he's like, do you have any proof of this? And I'm like, yeah, I have actually a ton of it. And I sent him the book, The Bell Curve. I sent him a bunch of stuff. And he's like, that book has been, debunked by these people. And I'm like, okay, no, it hasn't. Like, just because somebody, like, I could read an article and say it's false doesn't mean it's actually debunked. Just because some retard, some black guy says this is wrong and racist doesn't mean it's actually wrong. But I then followed it up. He's like, do you have any actual peer-reviewed research? And I was like, yeah, okay, here, I'll send it to you. And I sent him a study done by the University of Delaware, his own alma mater. Sent it to him, and generational crash out by him in that moment. It was so funny. But I've had a lot of these arguments. I have countless times got in this conversation where it's just like, yes, it is an IQ problem, and it's not about thinking they are less than as humans. We are all equal humans under God, but we do need to fix the way we kind of use them and utilize them within America, and what we give them, what we don't give them. We need to set up programs that actually would help black people, not just fund them staying on welfare for life. We need to actually set up programs that can allow black success, not allow black crime and black privilege to run rampant. Let's see. Someone said, let's see. I gotta scroll back. She said, she thought I'm gay. Yeah, I noticed. Christian, we accept you no matter what. Where's Fidel these days? I miss that guy. Yeah, I think Fidel's gone. I think the token Jew left. It's fine. Maybe he's serving the IDF right now. maybe he's doing his IDF duties. Someone said, I think he got tired of the anti-war rhetoric. Yeah, of course the token Jew wants the war. It might be genetic, but isn't racial. It is. It is. It is. It's genetic and racial. It is. Black people and white people are different genetically. They are different racially. They have lower IQs. Like, it's people like you, just, you're the type of person, Christian, who refuses to accept the truth. Like, it is just, it's so apparent to every time I fucking have a conversation with you, it runs through my mind. It's like, this is the type of person who just refuses to accept the truth. Neil deGrasse Tyson is highly smart black. Yeah, it's not saying that black people can't be smart. It's not saying, and also Neil deGrasse is a fucking retard at the same time. He's an absolute retard who claims to be smart. But, and it's again, not to say that no blacks can be smart, but it's saying that the majority of them are low IQ, and they are low IQ because genetically black people are lower IQ. It's literally that fucking simple. They didn't get that. Yes, a black person can be smart, and we're not saying that every single one of them is a Mongol. Exactly. Saying no amount of education can help them is retarded. No, it's not, because education doesn't help your IQ, fucktard. Yeah, someone goes, Charlie Kirk told me in a dream. Exactly, yeah. Did Charlie Kirk come in your dream and tell you that? Like, dude, come on. Can we just be realistic? Like, saying that a ton of like, if I was to go to a Harvard education, it's not going to raise my IQ even 1 point. Like, you need to realize that education is not like from 10 to 30, your IQ is staying the same. Like, it's not like maybe it goes up by one or it goes down by one. But your IQ doesn't change like that. Like, that's not how it works. And that's what these people don't think. They confuse IQ with just like general knowledge. Like, okay, yeah, someone can read a book. Someone can sit through a lecture and know a little bit more than they knew before they went into that lecture. Is their IQ any higher? Is their critical thinking skills any higher? Is no, Christian, I hate that I even have to explain this to you. It's just like, come on. Like, seriously? Like, I get it. I get it. You're brown. You don't want to accept that people who aren't white sometimes are a little dumber. But it is the truth. And again, it's not like a truth we're even celebrating either. Like, sure, I'm celebrating that I'm vindicated on it because I've been talking about it. I've had arguments over this conversation. But we're not happy. Like, it's not something that we're happy about. Like, if I could make black people higher IQ like that with a snap of my fingers, I would do it. I would love that because it would actually make them able to assimilate into society better. Like, one of the reasons they fail to assimilate well is because of their lower IQs. One of the reasons that black people are still working the same jobs as illegal immigrants work is because they are lower IQ. And again, sure, you get your exceptional black man. You get a smart black man. It happens. Rarely. We're shocked when it does, but it happens. But it does not disprove what I'm saying at all. You saying Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, that guy, first of all, is kind of a fucking idiot. But at the same time, even if we were to accept your argument that he's a very smart person and that everything he says is super smart, it does not disprove that the vast majority of blacks have low IQs. And redlining didn't make that happen. Slavery didn't make that happen. What made that happen is genetics. They are genetically lower IQ, and that is not going to get fixed, at least much. Like, sure, there will be a marginal raise over time. Over time, it will go up marginally, but it will not be any significant difference. And people always ask, like, why is the IQ different in American blacks versus blacks in Africa? A lot of people are like, oh, it is because they're getting more education. It's actually false. Why there's a higher IQ for blacks in America versus blacks in Africa is when they freed the slaves, the dumbest slaves who didn't know how to take care of themselves, bathe, eat, like the slaves who were the lowest of IQ, the lowest human capital, they died off, leaving just the slightly higher IQ ones who still weren't high IQ, but slightly higher IQ ones to reproduce. And again, it is genetic from there. You are rarely, if ever, going to see a very highly exceptional like high IQ black person. Sure, it happens. I've met some of them. I'm actually friends with some of them. But again, it's so fucking rare. And it's just, someone said my comment got deleted. What comment got deleted? I don't control that. Someone said, bro's trying hard to be Nick. We could sniff someone forcing it from a mile away. Just because I have similar views doesn't mean I'm trying to be somebody. That's retarded. That's literally retarded. Someone said, if a white family raises a black child, the child would turn out around the same as the white kid. Not IQ-wise, no. That's not, like, again, you're looking at different things. You're looking at, like, outcomes in life versus IQ. You're looking at very different things. You're looking at, like, that's culture. They'll instill cultural values that are often seen in more successful people versus IQ, which is a very different thing. And also, there was what was that study done with the monkey? Like, let me see if I can get that pulled up. That would be funny. Let me see if I can pull up this monkey IQ study. I have it somewhere here. Give me a sec. There's a funny study about this, actually. Funny study about this. Someone DM'd it to me. Give me a sec. I'm looking for it. But while I'm doing this, remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Follow me on X, Instagram, whatever platform you're watching on. Leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. What did I even fucking say so far? Join my Telegram channel by scanning the code up in the corner. Let's see. Where is this? I could possibly just search it. Why am I not able to find this? Damn, I'll try and find it during the show. I don't want to just sit here just looking for it. Oh, wait, actually, did I just find it? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is a good one. This is a good one. Here we go. Christian, have you joined the Telegram yet? Yeah, exactly. Christian, have you joined the fucking Telegram yet, pussy? Oh, wait. I have the volume off. Okay, sorry. Here we go.
In 1931, two married scientists attempted to raise their infant son alongside a chimpanzee. The parents, Winthrop and Luella Kellogg, had a son named Donald, who was only 10 months old. Gua was the name of the 7-month-old chimpanzee. The couple aimed to determine if it was possible to educate an ape and teach it to communicate like a human. However, the experiment initially intended to last 5 years.
I just want to add the start. We all know this is about monkeys, but we all know what it's really... We all know what we're all thinking when we're watching it.
Was abandoned after just 9 months when the couple noticed alarming changes in their son's behavior. Donald and Gua were subjected to a series of cruel and often unusual experiments at the hands of their parents. The baby and the chimp soon became incredibly close, developing a sibling-like bond from spending all day together. Soon, the couple realized that in socializing Gua to become more human, their son had adopted some animal traits. Donald began walking on all fours, dragging his knuckles like an ape.
Yeah, so how most people interpret that is when white people grow up around black people, they tend to have shittier behaviors because they adopt a lot of them, especially from young ages. And some of that disproves some of the like adoption arguments. You know, it actually shows that you're more likely to slightly hurt the white kids than actually improve the lives of the black kids. But again, there's exceptions to the rule in every one of these things. It's not saying that it's a general application to all black people. It's just saying the vast majority of them. And then, like I said, specifically what we're going to focus on today is the low IQ sub-Saharans. We're going to focus on the low IQ actual Africans. Christian goes, that's crazy, dude. No, it's a legit study. It's a legit study that actually was released. Not just the monkey one, but the one we're going to show today about the low IQ sub-Saharans. We're going to get to it later in the show. Like I said, I do have some other stuff I want to cover today. The first thing I wanted to cover was a report we got, Wall Street Journal confirming that President Trump wants to tone down his deportation campaign as he believes voters dislike it. Immigration is consistently the issue Trump polls best on, especially compared to foreign policy and Iran. Christian said that's blame on culture. It's not, because they're living in a white home. It's not blaming on culture. They're living in a white home. But okay, let's get back to the immigration stuff for a second. So Trump polls extremely well on immigration. People want mass deportations. People want the border wall. People want to get rid of the illegal immigrants and stop legal immigration. People do not want more legal immigrants and more illegal immigration. They want all these people out of the fucking country. But Donald Trump is like, nope, that's too unpopular. We're going to stop it. While at the same time, shifting from the No New Wars, which was one of his most popular, like, even people on the left liked the idea of it. Not saying they thought Trump would follow through, but they liked the idea of No New Wars. I think every Gen Z person likes the idea of No New Wars. We have been one of the first generations to have it worse off than their parents. We have it worse off because our country's in the shithole. Our country is worth dick. Our dollar's worth dick. We've been in the Middle East my entire fucking life. We've been at wars that nobody truly understands except for the idea that we're doing them for Israel. None of the reasons they give us for why we're in these wars actually make sense or are actually true. But Donald Trump abandoned the No New Wars to then bomb Iran in June. And then again, bomb Iran. And not only bomb Iran, but it looks like we're actually just in a full war now with Iran. It is very close to, or it seems like we're very close to putting boots on the ground. That's the reports we're getting out of the Pentagon today and yesterday. Most likely we're going to be putting boots on the ground near the Strait of Hormuz. We're also going to possibly have just boots on the ground throughout the country in general. So it's very unclear for what the future looks like with this Iran conflict. I personally think it will last over a year. I personally think we'll be involved in this for a very long time. And There's also a lot of different rhetoric we're hearing from Benjamin Netanyahu, and it's actually insane to me and super disrespectful the way he goes about it. And I'm Benjamin Netanyahu's biggest critic, and this was a particularly disgusting thing he did. But he gave a speech. He addressed, kind of the world in a little bit of a speech. I think it was yesterday, maybe it's 2 days ago, but I think it was yesterday. And in English, he basically says, like, this is going to be quick. We're going to get out of there fast. The U.S. is going to be involved in this for a very long time. And then he switches to Hebrew, and he kind of says the opposite. In Hebrew, he says that we're going to destroy the Iranian regime. We're going to replace it, full regime change. We will be there as long as we need to. And it's like, okay, like, you fucking cunt. It's actually insane because most Americans will not take the time to research what he said in Hebrew. I took the time to research what he said in Hebrew. And like I said, it's disgusting to say one thing to the world in the language that most people are going to understand, and then to say the complete opposite thing in a language that mainly the people from one country are going to understand, and then some Jewish Americans as well, who again are most likely going to keep it quiet. They all work tribally. They understand what he did there. All the Jews who speak English, who listen to that, who also speak Hebrew, guess what? They're not talking about what he actually said in Hebrew. They're keeping it to themselves. They know he said one thing in English and something else in Hebrew, but they're not going to disclose that because they work tribally for the interests of Israel. They don't give a shit about America. They like America because America supports Israel. Ben Shapiro literally said this same sentence. Ugh. What evidence do I have that applies to black people? Christian, have you ever heard of Wiggers? Have you ever heard of a Wigger? Like, are you kidding me? What evidence do I have that applies? But when white people grow up around black people, you get Wiggers. That's what happens. That's why. That's why. Like, what are you fucking talking about? That's so fucking stupid. You don't seem a good example of the super race. You seem to be the size of a boy. You seem to be a retard in a Twitch chat. Kill yourself. Like, who cares what you think? Shut the fuck up, pussy. Okay, let's keep moving on with the news. Like I said, not going to be a crazy long show today. And I did have a video I wanted to watch with you guys as well. And I wanted to talk about another point that I saw too. So in the UK, the police set up all these AI facial recognition cameras that were used to kind of like detect crime as it happened. But shortly after implementing them, they took them all down. And do you guys know why they took them down? I'm curious if anyone knows, but the reason they took them down is they realized that overwhelmingly all the criminals were black. Almost every criminal was black, and they were like, this is racist. This is a racist system that we have to take down. So is it a racist system, or are most criminals just black? Like, it's so annoying when people get super defensive about that issue, because we have to be able to call out crime. We have to be able to call out the disgusting crime statistics that 13% of the population, really 6.5% of the population, because it's mainly the men, it's not really the black women, but mainly the black men who are committing murders, but 6.5% of the population are committing over 55% of all the murders, over 75% of all the youth theft arrests. They act like shit. They act like super predators. You sit in front of them on a train, they slit your throat. You ask them to leave your team's tent at a track meet, and they stab you in the fucking heart. They try and ruin your life over almost nothing. They declare racism at any moment they get. They expect you to kiss their shoes after George Floyd, a fentanyl addict who beat the shit out of his pregnant wife, died of a fentanyl overdose. They expect people to be okay with them burning down their entire cities and then kiss their shoes following it. Like, these people are fucking animals. A lot of them are. A lot of them should be sent back to Africa. Like, seriously, the majority of the repeat offenders who are black should be sent back to Africa. I fail to see any argument why we shouldn't. I fail to see any argument why we should keep those people in our jail system and then release them back into society and have them back in jail and release them back into society, have them back in jail, and eventually give them the death penalty when they kill a white lady on a train. Like, why not just send these people back to Africa? Like, if they're gonna terrorize everybody, let them go terrorize that shithole of a country or continent. Why are they terrorizing us? We do not need those people here. If you are a black committing too many crimes, committing crimes in general, get the fuck out of my country. Go back to Africa. We do not want you. The blacks who aren't committing crimes, you're fine to stay. You assimilate better to society, and I honestly do not have a problem with them. But the blacks who cannot help themselves from committing crimes, the people who have 100-something arrests, 50-something felony, it's like, okay, get these people the fuck out of my country now. I do not want these super predators here. I do not want anybody who is repeatedly committing violent crimes to be in my country. I want these people out. And especially when we see these new statistics about IQ. Not only does it all make so much more sense. You know, we've been talking about this for a long time. We knew they were low IQ. We knew there was a lot of studies. But now Africa themselves have they've admitted it themselves. They did a study in their own continent and figured it out that they are lower IQ. And it makes a lot more sense why these people are the fucking way they are. And like I said, all the violent ones, we need to get them out of the country immediately. Like yesterday. The ones who aren't committing violent acts, again, you're fine, but we should still come up with different programs and systems for you where they'd actually be able to succeed. Because if black people are actually that low IQ, which is something that I've been saying for a long time, it doesn't help them to put them in a society where we expect them to live up to the standards of other people, like the white man or like people who are higher IQ in general. You know, Ashkenazi Jews, white people, Asians, etc. They'll never be able to compete IQ-wise. Sure, there'll be the exception to the rule, but there's not going to be an abundance of them. Someone said, that is when they grow in a black community, not when they grow up in a white family and a black sibling. Yeah, but that doesn't raise their IQ, Christian. That changes their culture. Well, America seems to lock up lots of black people. Yeah, because they commit a lot of crimes. Well, you aren't coming back to Europe. Again, we are the new Europe. We are Rome here. You're a fucking idiot. Like, what a fucking stupid cunt. This is the Roman Empire. We are the fucking Roman Empire, and Rome will win. Rome hasn't fallen, and it never will. People like you are retards. Someone says, fuck them all. Yeah. Or he said, fuck them. Exactly. Someone said, well, objectively speaking, I can see you have no higher educational attainment. I don't plan on going back to school, but I read more than you. I've read more than you in the last 3 months than you've read in the last 3 years. I will guarantee you that on my life. Like, people who are always like, oh, this person doesn't educate themselves. It's like, you have no idea how much I fucking read. Blacks are 13% of the population and commit almost 50% of the violent crimes. Yeah, I mean, it's even more than that. Even more than 50%. And beyond that, it's like I said, it's really like 6.5%. It's really the men who are committing the most crimes. Someone said, you would not be considered intelligent. I have a 136 IQ, you fucking retard. I wouldn't be considered intelligent? Yeah, kill yourself, pussy. What's your IQ? We don't lock them up enough. Yeah, I mean, here's my hot take. You're right, we don't lock them up enough, but in my system, don't lock them up. Just send them away. Send them back to Africa. We should be sending a lot of blacks back to Africa. Again, we don't need to send them all. We do not need to send them all. But we do need to send all the criminal blacks back to Africa. All the blacks who refuse to stop committing crimes, who refuse to assimilate into American society, and even I would say the blacks who are like just abusing social programs. Send them back to Africa. Send them to the shittiest parts of Africa. Send them to the hellholes of Somalia. Send them wherever the fuck you want there. I don't care. But let them go terrorize those people. Let them deal with that. We don't need to deal with that over here. We do not need America to be less safe. We want it to be more safe. How do you make it more safe? You deport the people who are committing the most amount of crimes. Deport a lot of the blacks back to Africa is someone said labor camps. Honestly, not the worst idea either. Not fully against that. I'm going to be honest. I'm not. I think that would actually be a decent idea. I think we should put some people in labor camps, actually. Yeah, no problem saying it. Okay, let's keep going on. But to get back to what I was saying a second ago, we'll wrap that up, then we'll keep pushing forward. But in the UK, like I said, they had these facial recognition cameras to detect crime. Almost every criminal they detected was black. They even like reviewed the tape to see if it missed other crimes, and it didn't. Very few people it caught were other races. And it's just so funny because they literally took the cameras down because like, we don't want to be racist. It's like, okay, it's not racist to just point out truths. It's not racist to tell the truth. It's not racist to say that this person is committing the most amount of crimes, that these people all seem to be black, that they are all black. That is not racist. That's just an observation. That's just pattern recognition. It's just so crazy. Everybody's so scared to be fucking racist. It's like, okay, what? Like seriously, racism is hatred of another religion, or not religion, of a race. Racist is saying that I don't like black people because they're black. Uh, and that's, to be honest, if you just look at somebody and you don't like them because the color of their skin, that's extremely low IQ. That's just hate filled. But if you look and you say, okay, the majority of people who are jumping people, who are killing people, who are robbing people, who are robbing stores, who are committing all these crimes, that they are black, you know, I'm going to do what I can to avoid that group. Like, that's not racist. That's just being smart. That's just good pattern recognition. Someone said, do I have a source? A source for what, fucktard? You are making unsubstantiated claims. Yeah, you sound like a fucking pussy. Kill yourself. It's some random retard in the Twitch chat. Kill yourself. Like, people like you are just not going to make it. If you fail to admit that black people are lower IQ, then you fail to acknowledge reality. And you're like, oh, do you have proof of your claims? Yeah, like I said, we're going to go over the fucking 70 IQ allegations later in the show. We're going to show the data that was actually crafted in Africa. There have also been a lot of peer-reviewed studies in America. There are books about this. Little boy, I would squash you. Like, kill yourself. I live in the state of fuck around, find out. You got within 5 feet of me and your head would get blown off by a 5'7". Like, I love keyboard warriors. I love people in the comments who are like, I would kill you. It's like, okay, I live in Florida. I would literally kill you. My best friend's an alligator trainer. I will literally shoot anybody who wants to try and harm me. And I'll feed them to the gators. I'll feed them to the gators. Me and Fishback will go hunt down a gator and feed you to it. Keyboard warriors crack me up because they're the biggest group of pussies in existence. It's like, I have the balls to show my face on here and say this right to you, to everybody. You are an anonymous retard in a live chat. You're spending time out of your day watching my show, pussy. Yeah, you really showed me. Kill yourself, pussy. You're nothing. People like you are nothing. You will never be anything. But okay, let's keep moving on with the show. There was another headline that popped up today that I was kind of excited about. And some people are, again, this is going to be a hot take for some. A lot of people aren't going to agree. And all I ask you guys when I come out and say this is just hear me out. Hear me out on it. So the new headline from the New York Post today is, cigarettes are back. Hollywood is pushing a new generation to light up from coast to coast. And I'm going to be honest, I'm thrilled about this. I am actually thrilled about this. Do I think it's a good thing that a bunch of people are addicted? Not really. Do I think it would be a better thing for everybody to be a little bit skinnier? Fuck yeah. Look at what America looked like 100 years ago. Look at what America looked like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 40 years ago. When people were addicted to cigarettes in masses. When women were smoking cigarettes from the age of 15 and they were fucking hot. They were better looking back then. Men were better looking back then. Everybody was thinner because they were consuming nicotine, because it was suppressing their appetites, because everyone wasn't eating like a fucking fat ass. You didn't need Ozempic. You just lit up a Marlboro. It was literally that easy. But somehow people, and again, I'm not someone who smokes cigarettes. Sure, if I'm drinking, I enjoy the occasional cigarette. Who doesn't? Sue me. But there are people who just smoke them every day. And to be honest, again, I don't like you smoking it in like a really public place or around children. Like, that's one thing. But if you're just lighting up a cigarette and you're skinny and thin and whatever, to be honest, I like that person more than the fatty standing next to them. Every time. Every 10 times out of 10, I will choose the skinny bitch smoking the cigarette, smoking a pack a day, over the fat bitch who's fucking shoving quarter pounders down her throat like it's Bonnie Blue with dicks. I would take the skinny bitch who smokes cigarettes 10 times out of 10. It's fucking insane. It's literally insane to me that people do not understand it. But America does have an attractiveness problem. It does have a weight problem. It has, like, very obviously has an obesity problem, but people rarely equate that with an attractiveness problem, which is an issue in itself. The dating market's never been more shit. People have never been more amped about body positivity. It's like, no, fat girls, you're not beautiful. Maybe the fucking 110-pound version of you might be, but you, sweetheart, are just a fat bitch. And these women, and men too, they really need to lose some weight. Someone said, the smell is just awful. Growing up with it was not great, but I do see your point. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like the smell of it. There should be designated smoking areas, non-smoking areas, you know. I do actually wish we could smoke on. I wish they did smoking flights. Like, maybe not smoke on every flight, but I wish they did smoking flights. Like, that would be elite. That would be incredible. Smoking flights again. Like, imagine you're on a flight to Vegas. You're fucking puffing an entire pack on the like. That would be incredible. Would be. Christian goes lung cancer. Okay, first of all, that just shows you're stupid. Most people who smoke cigarettes don't die from lung cancer. They die from the heart attack they get before it. Like, lung cancer is not really what you're like. It's a little bit what you're worried about. I'm sorry to call you a complete retard with that, but it's really a heart attack you're worried about. You're worried about a heart attack, not lung cancer when you're smoking cigarettes. Lung cancer, you're way less likely to get than a heart attack from long-term cigarette use. It's a quick fact. Ugh. But yeah, I'm so anti-fat, so maybe I take this a little far, but at the same time, on some level, I truly do agree. We cannot have this fat-ass, disgusting-looking country. We can't have fat tortoise thinking they're beautiful. You ever watch the Whatever podcast? You got a fat bitch who's like, I'm a 10. It's like, bitch, you weigh 1,000 pounds. You're not a 10. You're like, people are so delusional. And I honestly, I could be wrong. This is like, a lot of things I say, for a fact, I know I'm right on them. You know, a lot of things, I say them with such conviction, and I know I'm right. And this, I would say I'm probably 80% sure I'm right. But I think it would actually be more beneficial to the United States in the long term if more people smoked cigarettes than if less people did, actually. I really do. At least in the current way America functions. You know, it'd be a different thing if, like, the food wasn't all poison and it wasn't so like, it is very easy to get fat if you're careless. I will acknowledge that. Like, if you're careless, it is extremely easy to get fat just eating what's available to everybody every day. But at the same time, that's if you're careless. It's also just as easy to fast for a day or two. It's just as easy to go fucking work out a little bit or eat a little bit less. But at the same time, cigarettes could be the answer we've been looking for this entire time. A little blast from the past. Bring it back. People smoking cigarettes would be, in my opinion, I think I'm about 80% sure I'm right on this one. Usually I say I'm 100% sure. This one I would say 80%. Someone says, rather be addicted to nicotine besides sugar. Exactly. Especially as a man, nicotine is not what's bad for you. As a man, it's actually somewhat beneficial. And that could be propaganda they put on us, but I think there are a good amount of studies that do show that I'm correct about this. Nicotine is a stimulant, helps with focus, helps with anxiety and stress. It also helps, it's a testosterone booster. There are a lot of benefits to nicotine. And there's very little, if any, benefits to sugar. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And that's a legitimate fact. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. So, I don't know. I kind of on the cigarette. If you had to pick, get rid of sugar, get rid of cigarettes, get rid of sugar. Like, for healthiness in America, get rid of sugar. No questions asked. And again, I'm also just really anti-fat. Like, I say this on the show a lot, but it's like, if I had two buttons, you know, get rid of the fatties, get rid of the illegal immigrants, I could only do one. I'm getting rid of the fatties, not even thinking about it. Like, fat people, you gotta go. Taking up too much resources, too much space in this country. You don't fucking work. You don't really contribute any, like, what fat person contributes to society? Can anyone name, like, a fat person who truly contributes to society in, like, a meaningful way? I off the top of my head, I can't even think of one. I cannot even think of, like, one fat person who contributes to society in, like, a real way. I can't. I really can't. The guy in the chat goes, I would get rid of all small people. Here's the difference between that and that. One, people can't control their height. They cannot control it. Well, fat people can control their weight. So that's just like, are you a female? Are you a retard bitch? Because that's like a woman argument. That's a woman argument. Women, stupid women would make that argument. And yes, women are stupid. They would make that argument. It's like, who's that guy? Lenny, I showed his videos on the show one day. Lenny something Miller. Lenny T. Miller or something. He goes up to women. He's like, does height matter in guys? And then they always go, yeah. And then he'll put a scale down in front of them and be like, okay, now step on the scale. Like, it's so funny. Because they could change their weight. Guys can't change their heights. So, I actually see a lot of problems with that argument. It just doesn't make sense. You want to punish people for things they can't control. You saying you want to get rid of all small people or kill all small people is the exact same equivalent as saying you want to kill all black people. You want to kill somebody for something they cannot change. Well, guess what? I want to deport people for things they can change. So guess what? I think I'm the better human being than you. I think you sound like a piece of shit. Someone said maybe some comedians. Yeah, you can maybe argue that like comedians contribute because they make life a little lighter, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no fat people are like who in government is fat that's really good? Like Randy Fine, you look at him and it's like, okay, that's complete and utter disappointment. You look at all sectors of like media, outside of comedy, all sectors of media, entertainment, and it's like, okay, these fat people are really not doing anything for us. You look at sports and it's like, even the linebackers, like there's very few like really fat ones. Like a lot of them are just big and muscular. Some of them are fat, and like maybe you can make an argument they contribute a little bit, but that's just, I don't know. I don't think it's I don't think it's an issue we're ever going to solve, sadly, either. Like, I think theoretically, if we did even like change the food, like if Maha was completely successful in everything they tried to accomplish, if they accomplish everything and they were able to make America healthy again, the food's healthy, blah, 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 you would still have the fat asses, because you would still have the people who can't handle addictions, who will not stop eating, and again, refuse to take cigarettes. It's like, it's so easy to be skinny. Meth, cigarette. No, don't do meth. That's Clav's method. But cigarettes, that's all you need. Or just get like fucking nicotine pouches. Like, honestly, if people just got addicted to nicotine pouches, it could do the same thing. Nicotine pouches is probably way better than cigarettes too, because you're not actually inhaling something. Let's see. Christian goes, I want liberal white women deported. See, here's the thing. I just don't want them to vote. Like, why would you rather deport them than just strip their voting rights away because they're women? I just, that's a low IQ argument to me. Ugh. That's just ridiculous, to be honest. Okay, but let's keep going. We're going to keep pushing on. Let's see. What else did I have? I had a couple things here. Okay, let's get into the IQ video. Fuck it. Let's just go right into this. So an Africa-based research team aiming to disprove Western claims about low IQ in African countries is going viral after conducting mass IQ tests in Lagos, Nigeria, only for over 50% of the participants to score below 70, with a median score of 69.7. Someone said at least 25 to vote. Are you saying just in general or for women only? But let's go into this black IQ stuff. This is the main shit of the show, the manja.
Our candidate included a mix of young and old participants, male and female, as well as A-level student. Everyone who participated was above 16. Only 3% of the participants scored 102, and another 3% scored over 80 and over 90, respectively. The highest group, 26%, scored 69, followed by the second highest group, 20%, scored 76. Disappointingly, 52% of participants scored below 70, accounting for half of our candidates. Overall, the average score was 73, while...
And just for context on this video, IQ tests are catered to the individual taking the test. It's not like just a set test for everybody. Like, they're catered to the individual taking the test. There are IQ tests for kids. There are IQ tests for adults. There are IQ tests for all different ranges and groups of people. So when people are like, a lot of people make the argument, oh, but like they might not know how to take a test, or that doesn't matter. That doesn't contribute to this. That's not a factor in this.
The median was 69. This raises some pertinent questions. How does IQ affect a population's ability to invent, produce, develop, or run a country? Is the IQ test really useful? Our candidate included a mix of young and old
how
participants.
Crazy. Let's get it. Where was it? Okay, right here. Let's look at that. So only 3% scored above 100. Another 3% scored above 80 and 90. Wow, so about 10% of the country is above an 80 IQ. About 10% of the country is above an 80 IQ. Wow. Yeah, again, like, they're never beating the allegations, first of all. And beyond never beating the allegations, it's also just proving everything we've been saying, that there are major differences that we have to acknowledge. And the more we fail to acknowledge these things, the worse situation we create for blacks in America. If we are expecting 85 IQ people to accomplish 110 IQ tasks, guess what? Well, we are fooling ourselves if we're telling ourselves they could do that. We are fooling ourselves. It's not helping them. It's not helping anybody. What we need to do is create a society and programs that actually can allow them to assimilate as they fit in. Not have them fit in with everybody and say like, oh, the black guy can do everything the white man can do. Sure, some of them can. But guess what? The majority of them can't. And while that is sad, not acknowledging that doesn't help them. Not acknowledging that is not like, people think like, oh, if I don't acknowledge it, I'm not racist. It's like, no, that's not how it works. All you're doing is hurting them. All you are doing is hurting the black community and making America less safe. If we can actually make a system that can support people with that level of IQ. And I'm not saying lower the American system for them. I'm saying create a system within America that's like a separate system for them. And it's kind of an easy process. It's not something that would be complicated for our government. The most complicated part of the entire thing is just explaining to people that this is a problem. Like, is actually just getting people on board with it. Like, anybody who can objectively look at the data knows this is true. But the problem is, like, everybody in the country is so blue-pilled, and they're so like, I don't want to be racist. I don't want to talk about this or that because, you know, people say it's real. It's like, no, we cannot be scared of being called racist or being called labels. You need to just be willing to say the truth, no matter what. And Charlie Kirk understood this, and a lot of people understood this. Christian goes, you know, James Fishback disagrees with you. No, he doesn't. James Fishback does not disagree with me, actually. He understands that there is IQ differences. He doesn't think that black people are un-American, but he does understand that black people do commit a ton of crimes. Like, that's retarded. Someone said segregation, question mark? I think voluntary, yeah, for sure. I think voluntary, it'd be really hard to do forced. I think voluntary would be great, though. I think voluntary segregation, I think most people would go with it. A lot of people, at least. You know, if white people could choose to live in all white neighborhoods and they didn't have to go to, like, Return of the Land and butt-fuck nowhere and build their own house, a lot more white people would just live in white-only neighborhoods, like, that are strictly white-only. I find it ridiculous that that's not legal. You know, you have black-only dorms, you have a lot of these things. Why can't you have white-only neighborhoods? Very upsetting. Someone said, I've seen some really fat truckers. Yeah, a lot of them are really fat. Those people are problems. And sure, like, truckers can contribute to society, but at the same time, I'd rather support those fat people and you can find skinny truckers as well. Someone said genetic, question mark? What genetic? What are you talking about? IQ is genetic, if that's what you're asking. I don't know what the fuck you're asking now. But, like I said, we've been right about this topic for a very long time. I'm glad we finally got some, not some data just out of America, because we've had that, but now we have data coming out of Africa. Africa's finally admitting, hey guys, we are retarded. They're admitting it to the rest of the world. Let's go on. I had another video I wanted to watch, and I haven't watched it yet. So I have no clue if it's going to be good. I really don't know much about this guy. But there's a comedian, JP Sears. He's part of the MAGA establishment, like, you know, very pro-Trump, pro-MAGA. And recently, he's kind of flipped his position on Israel. Very recently. And he dropped a 20-minute video shitting all over Israel, apparently. So, oh, that's the guy from the Rumble chat. He goes, I've seen some really fat truckers. Yeah, we just said that. Christian says, does James blame black people's genetics? Yeah, he's talked about it. He has talked about it. Yes. He has talked about the differences of, because Christian, like, you could just look this up. IQ is genetic. Like, it's not, I don't know. Why do I even have to explain this to someone? Like, it's so fucking annoying when you do this, because you refuse to just accept truths because they're uncomfortable. I don't care if a truth is uncomfortable. It's a truth. It is an objective truth. IQ is genetic. Black people do have lower IQs. They get that lower IQ from genetics. It's that fucking simple. If a black person gets a ton of education, guess what? Their IQ is not going to change. Or it's not going to change by more than a point or two, up or down. Like, the only way to realistically really change your IQ is to do a ton of drugs and lower it. Like, or to consume some really fucked up toxic things and lower it. You're not raising your IQ. It is near impossible to raise your IQ. Christian says it's half. Yeah, Gemini says it's half. Gemini's also woke as shit. It's more than half. Christian, go read the book, The Bell Curve. Let me know your findings from the book, The Bell Curve. But okay, we're going to watch this video. After we watch this video, we're going to go over to our comments, and then we're going to sign off for the day. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Let me get this pulled up here. And again, if it's not a good video, we'll just turn it off. You know, I don't know much about this guy. I just saw this, and it was trending on X, so I was like, it's worth watching.
All right, let's say something to get me assassinated here. You might have noticed something drastic has changed. Many are waking up and seeing very clearly something like, well, this.
How much influence does Israel have on our country?
Israel's controlling our government.
Israel controls us.
Israel is in control of our government. The government of Israel controls the United States.
Israel has run American foreign policy for 30 years.
It feels like we're just owned by Israel. We just never knew it.
Is the United States government now just taking edicts and orders from Israel?
Israel first.
Israel first. Israel first. This really isn't it.
And Christian, if you were right about the IQ being half genetics, half environment, then black people's IQs would have substantially raised in America by now. Substantially over the last few hundred years, but no, they haven't.
Israel first administration.
Now, if you don't see that yet, I apologize for being so...
Is that blood all over his shirt? What the fuck?
Anti-Semitic. But back to reality for the adults in the room. Once people have woken up to what you just saw, many of them have been realizing this.
I do have a lot of uncomfort about America's relationship with Israel, the Israeli political leaders. That's what I mean. I believe that group it just feels like a satanic regime. It feels like they just want to cause pain.
Yeah, most of Trump's now former supporters feel betrayed by him and have withdrawn their support. Hell, even the director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, has just resigned because, as he says, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Yikes! Just to be specific, the drastic change in Trump has him making enemies out of his supporters, outcasting true America First patriots, while he endorses politicians and influencers that nobody in his former base likes or trusts, as he escalates a massive war on behalf of Israel that he promised he would never start.
This seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel.
Christian says I oversimplify it. Christian, read the book, The Bell Curve, and after you've read that book, I will have this debate with you, but I'm not going to have the debate with you until you're actually educated on this.
Trade, right? And he ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless
And read the study at University of Delaware.
wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
So in tonight's special Come to Jesus episode, we'll learn exactly what the hell is happening so you can make sense of the senseless and understand what changed with Trump and why. Is the government of Israel truly evil, or are they God's chosen people? And how does Charlie Kirk and the current TPUSA tie into this along with Epstein? The answers might surprise you, but they'll also definitely frighten you. The betrayal of America first. Let's start here with, well, what you could call treason.
There are a bunch of people in the U.S. government who do not put the United States before the interests of Israel, period. And you saw that very clearly with Mike Huckabee. We interviewed him last week, and there was no sense at all that he represents the United States or has any interest in what happens to the United States.
As Trump campaigned on America first, and now his support base has very much imploded, as his actions are very much Israel first, we see he's not the only one.
Is this like this guy's shtick, or why is his shirt covered in blood? I don't get that. I seriously don't. If anyone in the chat knows, why is this guy's shirt covered in blood?
In the US government that serves the Israel flag. And, probably just because it's good for business, Trump has also viciously turned on anyone that doesn't toe the Israel first line. And if you haven't been paying attention, there are in fact one of two qualifications that a person has to meet for Trump to turn on them. Number one, call for justice and transparency with the Epstein files. Number two, choose America's interest over Israel's. By the way, many believe transparency with the Epstein files is compromising Israel's interests, so the two might be one and the same. For example, beloved people that Trump has suddenly blackballed over this are people like Thomas Massey.
I like the video so far, I'm not gonna lie.
Whom everybody loves, Megyn Kelly, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson, amongst others. In fact, dear Tucker has been so critical about the Israeli government that the CIA has now been spying on him and is rumored to be preparing a criminal referral. Silence him, that kind of thing.
Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee? Chuck Norris just died. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. But Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris went in water and the water got Chuck Norris. He didn't get wet. Like, Chuck Norris is the king. What are you talking about? I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan too, but let's be honest. Someone punched Chuck Norris in the face and broke their own hand. Chuck Norris is a different animal. Someone shot an entire magazine at Chuck Norris's chest and they just ricocheted off him and hit them. Chuck Norris is undefeated. Like, he is truly undefeated. Chuck Norris didn't even actually die, let's be honest. Death got Chuck Norris. We gotta call it what it is.
Because he's saying words about...
But I will say, Bruce Lee is incredible. I mean, it is like... When you see how fast Bruce Lee truly is, it's like, wow. It is actually, like, astonishing. It's more than that. It's truly... I was gonna say breathtaking, but I don't even know. Like, it's perfection. It is... There's a very few, if any, things in life that are perfection. But Bruce Lee's speed... Okay, we gotta take a minor detour right now to acknowledge this. Like, watch this. No, wait, that's not the right... Where's the one of him grabbing into the fan? Okay, I guess... I don't know where the fuck it is. But there's a video of, like, a literal fan spinning and he grabs something through. Like, he is so fucking fast. He's crazy. It is actually insane how fast the guy is. Monsters check under their bed for Chuck Norris. Exactly. Chuck Norris is undefeated. I remember being a kid. The Chuck Norris jokes were, like, some of the best jokes ever as a kid. They were so entertaining. I loved them. It was my thing.
Israel's government that seem very inconveniently true. Don't assassinate me. But the plot thickens because free speech from Americans is such a threat to the Israeli agenda that the Israeli government warns about these two American citizens.
I look at the West, our greatest ally, and I see a new enemy rising from within. I am speaking of a poison being sold to the American people as
like, Chuck Norris doesn't even wear a watch. He just knows what time it is.
patriotism. I'm speaking of the intellectual vandalism of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Enemies, they are. Patriotism to America is poison. He said those words out loud. It's kind of like the Israeli government is demanding that Americans stop supporting America. Huh. Trump blackballed those shining the light on Israel and Epstein. He's now all of a sudden backing people like the likes of Zionists, Lindsey Graham.
To all the anti-Semitites, to all the isolationists, I don't believe, forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for.
That guy's gay. And in opposition to the most America First Congressman Thomas Massie, Trump is now backing this guy, who nobody likes and is heavily funded by...
Does that say 5.7 million? Holy shit.
Rally for him in Kentucky.
Chuck Norris once pissed on a semi-truck. That truck is now known as Optimus Prime. This jackass believes the Charlie Kirk theory by the looks of it. So, Christian, so now you're just judging people based off the way they look? That's racist. That's racist. That's what racists do. They look at somebody and judge them.
Oddly enough, Thomas Massie's likelihood of winning the primary skyrocketed. Which, if you're not careful, tells you who Americans support. Fun fact, here's how much money Massie's received from the Israel Interest Lobby, which is 0, compared to Trump's candidate, which is 5.7 million. Hey, this all makes me want to puke. I literally feel sick right now.
Can somebody watching Google why is JP Sears' shirt covered in blood? Like, I'm curious. Maybe I'll just look it up.
But even more disturbingly was this post Trump recently put out in a very awkward defense of Zionist Mark Levin, who's faced very fair criticism from basically all who used to support Trump. In it, Trump stated, anyone who doesn't support Mark Levin isn't MAGA. And as Mark Levin has the likability of a herpes outbreak, this was the final straw for many. People don't like herpes outbreaks. They don't like Mark Levin. Yeah. That's what I meant. And on top of that, in a very incestuous way, Trump is publicly supporting people who despised him. Up until his recent
Christian says he's unfollowing this guy. Yeah, Christian, I don't think that's going to bother him much. I think he'll do just fine.
unexplained shift from America first to Israel first. Here's Trump's true thoughts on Lindsey Graham.
This guy, Lindsey Graham, you have a guy, he's one of the dumbest human beings I've ever seen.
Equally strange is Trump's glowing defense of Mark Levin, who has been on record saying he would never vote for Trump. Take a look.
I am not voting for Donald Trump. Period.
And Israel advocate Ben Shapiro had this stance on Trump. Shapiro even...
Yeah, but Christian, that's retarded. By saying he's just doing it for the money, one, you have no proof of that. I don't know who this guy is that much. Like, I know who he is, but I never watch his shit, so, like, I have no gauge of it. But, you know, if this is what this guy truly believes, what's the problem with that?
Endorsed Ron DeSantis over Trump in the 2024 presidential race. And now, all of a sudden, Trump is the bravest president ever, according to Ben.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The president right here is doing the bravest thing that I've ever seen an American president do when it comes to foreign policy.
So what changed? Trump broke promises on the Epstein files to protect predators, promised no new wars, and now bows down to Israel and has America fighting a war on their behalf. But why? Before we get to that, just for funsies, who's left on the commentator and influencer front that supports Trump? Golly. Not many people, but the ones that do either have a very outspoken Zionist agenda or a history of being involuntarily committed to a mental institution and continue to behave accordingly on Twitter. This is the type of person that supports what Trump is doing. Meanwhile, those who are clinically sane have withdrawn their support. Back to the question, why did all this change for Trump? The answer to that begins with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was amazingly influential over conservatives and was also terribly against the war in Iran.
Make sure we don't go to war against Iran, which would be a profound mistake for our country.
And before his death, it's been widely publicized that Charlie was withdrawing his support for Israel.
He is insinuating Charlie was killed by Israel and Trump. That's why he's wearing the bloody shirt. I don't think that's it. This is when he's first mentioned Charlie Kirk, first of all. Second of all, I don't think that's it, because Charlie was like wearing a t-shirt, you know? Like, doesn't even make sense.
And donors were fighting him on it. He was losing donors. And then Charlie was assassinated. Once that happened and Erica Kirk took over TPUSA to carry on Charlie's legacy, for some reason she didn't care.
The more and more the time goes on, I do think Erica Kirk is a handler. I'll show that video. I have a video kind of about that. I'll show that after we finish watching this. It's a very quick video.
Carry on Charlie's legacy with opposing a war with Iran, withdrawing Israel's support, or for Charlie's endorsement of Thomas Massie, one of his favorite congressmen. In fact, now, I guess as a way of carrying on Charlie's legacy, TPUSA labels Massie a rhino and endorses the Israel-funded guy that Trump is running against Massie. For Charlie. And let's keep being adults for a second. Because Charlie being dead is so helpful in paving the way for a war with Iran for Israel, Brett Weinstein recently said he thinks investigating Israel for Charlie's murder is warranted. Many in Trump's former base agree. The few that remain in his base.
Trump just said in an interview like very recently today, he goes, Trump on the Iran war. I may have a plan or I may not. It's like, okay, you fucking stupid cunt. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you stupid fat bitch.
Coincidentally, are offended by that suggestion, perhaps believing that Israel is the only government on the planet that's not capable of doing something sinister. Right. But real quick, back to Charlie's legacy that's being carried on by Erica Kirk and TPUSA, just in the opposite direction than Charlie carried it. Now, maybe they know what Charlie wants.
I also do find it very interesting they deleted all of Charlie's podcasts. So you couldn't see him talking against the Iran war and about the Epstein files. And someone goes, when has Trump ever had a plan? Yeah, I mean, Trump has just been one of the biggest disappointments in this country.
Wanted better than Charlie did. Erica Kirk has faced heavy criticism for, at the very least, weird behavior by Trump's former base. According to this poll, 80% of people say, yes, something weird is going on with Erica Kirk. But oddly enough, for everyone in the pro-Israel crowd, criticizing Erica Kirk is despicable behavior. Off limits, is what we're told. They say she's just a grieving widow, and they defend her in support of Charlie's legacy. Oddly enough, those very people are opposed to Charlie's actual legacy when it comes to Israel and war with Iran. It's kind of weird because the message of their actions makes it look like they're using the name of Charlie Kirk to propagate an agenda that Charlie was strongly against. but they call you and I despicable. Meanwhile, now get this, everyone who has left the Trump camp or had Trump blackball them tends to have three things in common. 1, they call for justice with the Epstein files. 2, they're suspicious of Israel. 3, they think something weird is going on with Erica Kirk. While those that support the new Trump have three things in common as well. Number 1, they say we should just move on from the Epstein files. Number 2, they call for unwavering support of Israel. And number 3, they get outraged at...
Here's why I like this video, because it's not that like in depth. It's not that like groundbreaking. It's not like we're hearing anything crazy new, but it is like a video that will get through to the normies. You got to think through that lens often. Like a lot of groypers, I feel like that's one of their biggest faults is they fail to look at anything through a normie lens. They'll look at it and they'll think about it through their America First lens. And they're not thinking about like, how does the, average normie, how does your average like 105 IQ retard in America, how do they interpret this? This is something that they'll watch and they will be able to resonate with it and agree. And they'll be able to like, see, okay, there are issues. This is a good like red pill for the retards, This is a good red pill for the 105 IQ retards in America.
Any critical look of Erica Kirk. Golly, just seems like one of these groups is...
Because it's so surface level. There's not much like depth to it, which makes it better for the normies.
Loyal to Trump at all costs, and it seems like the other group is loyal to truth at all costs. Now, before you can understand the whole picture, you have to understand the idea, we must defend Israel. We're God's chosen people, so God wants us to. Well, not so fast. Spoiler alert, in the US we have separation of church and state, which prohibits the government from endorsing a religion, even if that religion is funding many people in government. Not to mention the going to war.
Charlie never changed his mind on Iran. Charlie said that the strikes were successful in June. That doesn't mean he supported the idea of the United... Like, Charlie was explicit about not wanting a regime change war in Iran. He never once said that a regime change war in Iran was a good thing. And I will pay you to find me a clip of him saying it was a good thing, Christian.
War for religious reasons on behalf of another country to the detriment of our own well qualifies as treason. So there's that, too. But more importantly, the very idea of Israel is God's chosen people is highly questionable and most likely just not true for two reasons. Number one, the people in the state of Israel are not God's chosen people according to Christianity and the Bible, because traditional interpretations viewed Israel in the Bible to mean church, not people living in the literal state of Israel, which didn't exist until the late 1940s, thanks in part to the Rothschilds family. So the interpretation...
And the Jewish mob with Meyer Langsy, too.
...was people who go to church are God's chosen people. And that kind of makes sense.
It's just anybody who accepts Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, you are the chosen people.
It wasn't until Zionist interpretations came along in the 1890s where they brought a new, suspiciously different interpretation. And the spread of Zionism was heavily supported by the Rothschilds family. They're great. Now, the second reason that people living in the literal state of Israel are God's chosen people doesn't pass a sniff test is, well, does genocide, burning children alive, and prisoner rape seem like something God's chosen people would do? Here's a former U.S. intel officer.
For 1 year, I have watched Israel burn children alive.
And 5 Israeli soldiers were caught sexually assaulting a male Palestinian prisoner. Is that something God's chosen people would actually do? Also, God is against sodomy. They did that. By the way, if you're sitting there going like, this isn't a look at citizens of Israel, this is a look at the Israeli government. Now here's Charlie Kirk.
But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard-right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this.
Christian goes, but he also took a hard stance on Iran. Yeah, he took a hard stance that he was against a regime change war and that it would be bad for the United States. No matter what, it would be bad for the United States. Just because you don't want to accept that truth because you're pro-Iran war, because you're, to be honest, a fucking retard... Christian, you're not going to fucking make it. We got to be honest. You are not going to make it. You have to learn to accept truth. You have to learn to look at things objectively and not look at things through like, oh, what do I like? What do I think I like? Like, no, it's what's true and what's not.
They're going to try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean, that's, and I don't use that term lightly.
And here's Charlie talking about October 7th and the Israeli government.
But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order?
Now, you can believe that's all things God's chosen people would do, because people in the Epstein files who are still in positions of power in our government tell you That's what God's chosen people would do. Or you can apply common sense and maybe even consider how we might currently be in the fiercest psyop the world has ever known. This just in! Here's how to tell when you're in a psyop. According to behavioral expert Chase Hughes, there's 3 characteristics to look for to tell if you're in a psyop. And you have to spot the characteristics because they never tell you, this is a psyop. Obviously, because then it wouldn't work. The 3 characteristics that tell you when you are in a psyop are, number 1, there's a silencing mechanism. Number 2, there's a strong narrative. And number 3, they create tribalism. Let's break it down.
All right, we're almost kind of done with this. At this point, I'm a little fed up with the video, but it's like, we've gotten this far in. Let's just finish it.
Because this is fun.
Maybe
Number 1, the silencing mechanism is a means to silence opposing ideas, aka the truth. Truth needs to be censored because psyops are never on the side of truth. Because truth doesn't need a psyop. Truth is self-evident and therefore is strong enough to stand on its own 2 legs. So for example, a silencing mechanism could look like abolishing the First Amendment rights of Americans to silence anti-Israel sentiment. Like that.
20 years imprisonment for Americans participating in boycotts of Israel.
It can also look like silencing through intimidation. So that's also what the Twitter of one of God's chosen people happens to look like, apparently. Number 2, the strong narrative component of a psyop. That phrase is repeated obnoxiously often, usually in defiance to reality and your common sense. An example of how that can sound is maybe like, Israel is our greatest ally. How? We're not taking questions right now. Number 3, the tribalism component of a psyop. This is beautiful, because this is meant to threaten your deep human need to have a sense of belonging. If you don't straighten up and fall in line, you're out of the tribe. An example of how that can look is, well, this. Those who speak ill of Mark will quickly fall by the wayside. They are not MAGA. So, even though all the components of a psyop to perpetuate Israel's interests are present, assembled, and active here in America, I don't know if we're in a psyop. I mean, it's just really hard to tell. Now let's bring it home with this question. Does Israel control the US? Answer, no. It appears Zionism controls the US, and Zionism controls Israel. The demonic heart of Zionism seems to reside more in Israel, so on the surface, it very much looks like Israel controls the US.
What a pussy-ass way to wrap that up.
And that can explain why Trump has drastically changed and his support is...
Saying Charlie Kirk was anti-Netanyahu might be the dumbest fucking statement I've ever heard, Christian. He literally would suck the dick of that guy. He wrote him a 10-page love letter on how to fucking rape America.
Vanished. But Israel and the US are just symptoms of a common thread, the political ideology of Zionism, a virus that's infiltrated and probably helped create the government of Israel, and now the US government is largely occupied by the same virus. Now, for the record, that virus wasn't created in a lab. It was created in someplace worse. In conclusion, as you know, something has clearly happened. Something has clearly changed. And it probably wasn't you. It was the people that you supported and what controls and influences them. That's what's changed. Once upon a time, it seemed as though what controlled Trump was the will of we the people. He now seems to be acting in service to something very different. And when things get crazy, even satanic, you're told that you're the problem if you speak up. Don't fall for it. You're not the problem because you didn't change. If you see the dramatic change, the time to speak up is now.
And I believe that if we don't speak up now, that our children won't have the chance to speak up.
Have a good night, and I appreciate you watching. Jason, give me my bulletproof vest. I'm going for a walk. Here's a fact for you. The more life...
Like I said, it's not a video for me, but I think it's a good video for the normies. It's the first time I've watched it. I didn't watch it earlier today. I just saw it was trending. But I think it's a good video for a lot of the normies who are, like, unwilling to look at a lot of the other, like, a lot of the normies don't want to touch the, like, 9/11 stuff. They don't want to touch the JFK stuff. They don't want to touch some of the more taboo subjects. But I think this is something that a lot of the normies could watch and agree with. I want to show this quick video of Joe Rogan talking about the potential of Erica Kirk being Charlie's handler. Then after that, we'll go to the comments. I wasn't even originally going to show this, but then they were kind of talking about it. I'm like, you know what? It kind of fits in. So let's go for it. Christian goes, Charlie Kirk did not always oppose regime change in Iran, but over time he became strongly against U.S.-led regime change there. He pretty much always did oppose it, actually. And Charlie, at the peak of his career, which was when he died at the peak of his career, and his relationship with the president and everything like that, he was heavily opposed to it. Insanely opposed to it. The fact that you're pro-Iran war, Christian, is actually crazy to me. I actually think less of a lot of people who are pro-Iran war. But okay, let's watch this video where they talk about Erica Kirk being in a CIA tutorial, like a something video within the CIA, like a training video. And people, ooh.
JT Strongbow just
Let's
give
go.
5 subscriptions on Kick.
Thank you, JT. Let's go. Huge W, JT. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. But yeah, so she's being accused of being Charlie's handler now, and I do think it actually could be a possibility. Like, why would she be in a CIA training video? Very weird.
And when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
Well, there are 18 critical infrastructures.
It's weird, but
very weird.
She's doing a CIA informational video.
Weird. An acting gig, or is this something else?
Perhaps, or, but even so, you're doing an acting gig for the CIA. Who calls you for that?
Yeah.
You ever get one of those calls?
No.
No, I never got one of those calls.
My agent never hit me with that one.
Yeah. It's odd. Well, there's a lot of people that think that she was his handler. She was Charlie Kirk's handler. But of course, there's a lot of people that think I have handlers.
Yeah.
Well,
you got about 9 Navy SEALs out there.
They're not. They're my friends. They're not handlers. I know those guys.
Oh. Maybe.
She was also in some weird CIA documents or CIA films.
Is that right?
Like, yeah. You ever seen those films?
No.
See if you can find those films. There's some weird, like, internal films that they made that she was a part of.
She looks like if a pageant girl was grown up.
100%.
There, look at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, she essentially was a pageant lady.
Oh, really?
Right? Wasn't she in, like, Miss USA or one of those things?
I don't know. Maybe.
Wasn't she,
She's
Jamie?
got that kind of face.
I don't know.
Well, there's a thing that people want, right? That attention, fame thing.
Yeah.
That is what they really want. Okay, so Jamie will find it.
She's got fireworks behind her. She's just wild.
Erica Kirk CIA video releases serious questions.
That's the one I just played.
Yeah.
It had a 5-second clip, and the rest was not.
Oh, but
all right, so you guys get it from there. We don't have to watch the next minute or two. But yeah, it's weird that she's in a CIA training video. Very weird. Like, that'd be weird if anyone was in that, but it's really weird that Erica Kirk's in that. And, anyone who doesn't think that's odd, it's like, I would love to hear why you don't find that to be odd at all, because I find that to be fucking insane. But okay, that's been our Friday show. It's our casual Friday show. We are going to move on to our comment section, and then we'll sign off for the day, and I'll be back on the show on Monday, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being fans of the show. Remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Follow me on X, Instagram, whatever platform you're watching on, and join my Telegram channel by scanning the code up in the corner. Okay, let's go. First comment here.
Man, please don't bring her back on. Shit was okay until she got super argumentative and I had to turn it off.
Yeah, her voice is annoying when she gets mad. She's so easy to rage bait. Like, the whole thing, it's just like you could see her cortisol levels are up to here. Mine are down here.
She is pretty hot, but lil crazy. You guys are definitely going to start a family.
No, we're not. What the fuck are you talking about? And no, I would not call her hot.
Jane, be honest, you thought about marrying her at least once.
She's literally 38. No.
Do you have any Hispanic friends that work on ice?
Yeah.
They're the best.
I do. I have a good amount of them, actually. The majority, I know a lot of people who work for ICE. The majority of them I know are Hispanic.
Never forget that Zionists are Jews.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever forget that.
That was crazy stream.
Yeah, a little bit. Crazy for you. You got called gay by a liberal.
Being called gay by a liberal is crazy.
Holy shit, there we go. The one guy in the comments who goes under the name Grandma's Boy is kind of just a seething weirdo.
What was crazy about it? Can you guys not see why she would call him that? Every time he started talking, the boy couldn't stop squirming. Haha, very cringe. Stay up, playa. Grandma's boy. I'm not gay, I have autism. That's why I'm kind of socially awkward. I honestly don't know where the hell she got the idea I was gay though.
Okay. Here we go.
All hail Mr. and MRS Pascalides.
Probably not going to happen.
I'm 8 minutes in. I'm not fully convinced you have ever actually spoken to a human female before.
Yeah, I've never spoken to a female in my entire life. Sup, EHC?
Why is bro liking his own comments?
Yeah, it's weird. Is that fucking Gary?
But yet every time he brings someone on the show, he makes sure they are dumber than him so that he can present himself as smart.
Do you know where I found her, Jamin? I was prompted to debate her on someone else's platform because she was also Jubilee, and that's how I got her on the show. That's retarded. Before I even knew who she was or knew anything about her, I debated her. But also saying like, oh, he brings people who are dumber than him. It's like, okay, again, almost every woman is going to be dumber than me. That's not a surprise.
Look, bud, I'm conservative as hell. It's beyond me that any of you young bucks actually come here for your information.
You sound
Don't
like
be
a
fooled by
retard,
this
though.
guy. I don't agree with most of her views. She is a genius compared to him though. JP literally has no skills and he can't even have a coherent debate with a pink-haired lefty. This is supposed to be his jam. He has no life skills nor debate skills. Love to see him on a job site lol. You can be right-wing without this total jackass. Good luck Bears fan.
That's retarded. Last night wasn't a debate. It was just us talking. We had an actual debate. It's a few weeks back on the channel. Stupid fucking comment.
I actually agree with Grandma's boy here sort of. I feel James is way too extreme.
Yeah, that's because you're a pussy, Christian. Like, that's why. Yeah, you think I'm extreme because you're a pussy. I don't know why. It's not letting me access like half these comments. I don't know if Spotify deleted them or what's up.
However, James isn't bad person or things he believes I think are terrible, yeah, but overall he does care about his fans.
Care about my fans. I like some of them. Some of them I fucking despise. Some of them I find very annoying.
Trump spent all that time complaining about how we shouldn't have gotten involved in Iraq. He kept criticizing Bush for that. 10 years later he became the man he constantly whined about.
Rare Jamin W.
But he also consistently took a hard stance on Iran.
He was the president of no new wars, but somehow you're just okay with him starting a war. Someone goes, where's Sassy? Bring her back on the show. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do a gaming show, me and her, in a few weeks. We'll do 1v1 Rust. We were talking about that last night. We'll do that in a few weeks. Someone says over under body count for Sassy at 25. Over, for sure. She's a 38-year-old pink-haired liberal. I can't imagine it's lower than 30-something.
JP, you have clearly never been laid before. You make it sound so difficult, hahaha. It's hard for you because you have no game and don't know how to be yourself. You're hella weird.
Yeah, true.
4 hours, 10 minutes, and 51 seconds. James. Wild take saying that if Charlie were alive things would be different media-wise. He said he would stop talking about the Epstein files because his people in the White House told him to. Explain how he wouldn't be muzzled about the Iran war as well.
I think he would have been in Trump's ear about it. And when I say the media would be different, I think the podcast wars would have gone way differently if Charlie was still alive. I think everything between Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro would have been looked at differently. I think we would have got more debates between Charlie and Ben Shapiro. I think a lot of things would be different. Yeah, I think it's crazy to think that the media wouldn't be different if Charlie was still alive. I think everything would be different. Someone goes, being celibate is base. Yeah, exactly. 100%. WEHC on that one.
Gotta agree with you, Whitefire. Does anyone here really think things would be different if CK was still around?
Yes.
CK was a great man, but for criminy sakes, he wasn't the Messiah. Pull yo heads out.
No one says he's the Messiah. We just said that the media would be different. The podcast wars would have gone different. A lot of things would be different. Someone said, Jester maxing for dumb women is gay. Exactly.
I spoke to some fishback guys today.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel that they showed up to Little Havana to promote guy who is completely against immigration, even legal. They seemed nice, but I have feeling they may have been trolling.
You look at everything too deeply. Like, one of Fishback's parents is an immigrant. He's anti-immigrant because it's not pro-America at this point. It doesn't help Americans at this point to have more immigrants. Like, that's just common sense. Okay, that's going to be the entire show. Holy shit. I'm just fucking tired. I just don't want to interact with anybody right now, if I'm being honest. Oh, what a week, though. What a good week. We went to Los Angeles last weekend. We talked about Jubilee on Monday. What did we talk about Tuesday? I think we talked about Iran Tuesday. Iran and fatties. Wednesday, we did the Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent coverage. Yesterday, we did the almost 5-hour show with Ceci. And today, we covered the low IQ black sub-Saharan retards. So, I think it was a good week. Productive week. I think we got a lot covered, a lot talked about. I want to thank our donators for the show today. We had JT Strongbow gift 5 subs on Kick. Thank you, JT Strongbow. Thank you to everybody who does donate to the show and tune into the show. Remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. All the comments from today's show I'll read at the end of Mondays. Remember to follow on whatever platform you're watching on, share the show with a few friends, and scan the code up in the corner to join my Telegram today. Stay updated on all things America Unfiltered. But with that, we're going to sign off today. Thank you for being fans of the show. Thank you for always tuning in. Please don't drink and drive, but if you do, remember to call your lawyer first. I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you.
Cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder,